Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Buccateers podcast. I'm your host, Tampa Tones. We're joined in by some crew members that haven't been on in quite some time, so we're happy to have him aboard. It's Cody G and Bucko the Bruce in the building. We're here to celebrate our first NFC South championship since the year of 2007. So last year we were celebrating our first playoff berth since 2007. This year, it's our first damn NFC South championship since '07. With that being said, the mission's just now beginning, and we got a big part of that mission upcoming this Sunday at the New York Jets. A little shorthanded, so we got a full episode on board to talk about. You could follow the pod on Twitter at Buccateers. You could chime in at any time in this episode by asking us questions on YouTube, or you could tweet at us, et cetera, et cetera. Without further ado, we're going to be welcoming in the co-host now. Cody G, how the hell are you? Good to see you, my friend. And how you been? How excited are you that we are now NFC South champions?
I have been well, and yeah, that's long overdue. Long overdue. I thought we would win it last year, but we won the more important thing last year. So we got it this year. I'm hoping we can win out the next two and get the 2 seed. But if not, it just is what it is. There's easier games, I guess, in the playoffs, but there's really no easy games. So it is what it is. Just to me, stay healthy. These last 2 games, stay healthy and get healthy. That's the most important thing. But obviously, you'd like to win them.
Yeah, you'd like to win them, but like you said, get healthy. I mean, at the very worst, we have clinched. So, I mean, we're making the playoffs as a 4 seed. At the very worst, we get at least one home game. So, I mean, we should beat the Jets as shorthanded as we are. It doesn't really matter as long as Tom Brady's playing and some of our key cogs on defense. I feel like we should be fine, although our defense took a couple hits with SMB and Jamel Dean going down. But hopefully the gang could come back a little earlier than normal as well with the new COVID protocols. So we'll see. Bucko Bourbon, how we doing, my friend? How happy are you that we're champions?
Well, look, 14 years betwixt division titles is not something any fan should have to endure. But I think we're better on the other end of it, having gone through it and having seen the Saints get embarrassed like they did the other day and clinching that division for us. It was beautiful, guys. I love it.
Yeah, big fan. It was fantastic. And Ruth chimes in. What's up, gentlemen? How you doing, Ruth? Thanks for joining us. So,
Ruth the truth.
We're going to throw it down like this, I guess. What do you guys look forward to the most in these next 2 games as we prepare for the playoffs? I know Antonio Brown's come back. We lost some pieces. Cody, I know you said getting healthy. Who do you think we could get back along this way, or who do you think could rest up and be the biggest key cog after these 2 weeks, or in these 2 weeks heading into the playoffs?
I'm pretty sure I saw that Winfield was back at practice today, so we might get him back. But to me, if he's not 100%, I would probably sit him this game. Same with Mike. I bet Mike probably could go, even with the COVID. I think he'll be ready by Sunday. But I want him to get the 1,000 yards, but obviously him being healthy is more important. So we'll just see how that goes. But I'd like to see a little more Keyshawn Vaughn this weekend, and then Whitehead. Whitehead has been playing out of his mind these last couple of games. He has been an absolute difference maker. So they had him at linebacker a little bit. We had talked about that in the group chat. I said I want to see that. We did see that, and he had a sack, a couple pass breakups, an interception. I mean, he just had an amazing game. So yeah, I just want to get everybody back. Lenny and Shaq, I think best case is playoffs. So just get them back by the playoffs, best we can hope for.
I mean,
Bucko, go ahead.
I really have no desire to ever watch Ronald Jones or Keyshawn Vaughn suit up at running back for me again. Neither one of them can block or catch worth a damn. So in this offense, I really don't need them because I don't want my quarterback getting killed. And Cody, I know you and I, past couple of days, been back and forth looking at the cut-ups of Ronald Jones' pass blocking attempts. Bro, I don't care how good you run. I don't care how good you only do 1/3 of your job. Right? Like I can have an employee at my company that is really great at one thing. But when I need him to do 3, and he sucks at 2 or 3, that's not an employee I want to keep. You feel me? I like Ronald Jones. Yeah, we drafted him in the second round. We all wanted something great to happen with him. Same with Keyshawn, 3rd round pick. We wanted something great to happen with him. But damn it, let me see more Le'Veon Bell. That's what I want to see, Tones. I got 2 games with everybody hurt. Get Le'Veon Bell acclimated to the blocking scheme, to the play calling. Let me see Le'Veon Bell get acclimated. So that way when Lenny comes back, we have a legit 3rd down running back that Le'Veon Bell has shown he's always been. So that's the guy I'm watching on while these injuries are happening. What can Le'Veon Bell give us to propel us in the playoffs? That's what I'm looking at. What's up, Stunner?
How we doing, Stun? Stunner?
All right.
Never mind. Nonetheless, I agree. Le'Veon Bell, if he could perhaps become a bigger part of this offense. I mean, he played 3 plays last week. They were all the irrelevant they were all the irrelevant plays, but nonetheless, he got his toes wet. At least he got some game action. This week you hope his uptick continues, and how more of a beautiful opponent to do that against than the New York Jets, right? A team that kind of brought him in, and he had kind of a vulgar exit there. So I think that Le'Veon Bell will be extra motivated this week, especially because how his career ended with the Jets. And not only that, I would like to see him get more involved because we brought him in to try and help pass block. We brought him in to try and perhaps catch passes out of the backfield. So doing those things, I think him, Rojo, and Vaughn could be a formidable enough trio to get us by these next couple of weeks as we wait for Lev Bell to come back, because Rojo is capable of handling carries out of the backfield, but as alluded to, some things in his game aren't as strong as other running backs. And
no, Tones, you be honest. He can't block for shit. Just say it. Just be honest. It's okay.
Okay, but but at the same time, I could appreciate that he could fill the void of at least handling carries in the backfield. We're not screwed to the point where, some teams lose a running back and they have no one to give the ball to, right? It's like if Pat's lost, Damian Harrison, Ramondre Stevenson, who are they going to give the ball to? At least without Gio Bernard and Leonard Fournette, we do have Ronald Jones, so we do have a guy we could give carries to. Obviously, as you said, he can't block worth the shit. Cody G posted a video in the group chat that was not fun to watch. There were 2 guys coming, and he went for none, sadly. But at the same time, at least he could handle carries. Now, as you said, Lev Bell, if he could step in, if he could play more, if he could step up and, block some, that'd be beautiful. That would help this team through thick and through thin. And then Keyshawn Vaughn, what we've seen last week out of Vaughn is exactly what he did at college. 1 out of every 10 or 15 plays is going to be a big play, and then the other ones are not going to be big.
I think him and Ronald Jones are the same player. They have the home run ability. They have the ability to run if the hole is there. But they lack vision, they lack receiving ability, and they lack blocking. And in this scheme, with what we do, I honestly think those are more important traits than running the ball. Now, you can shoot holes in that if you want to, but I think being able to pass protect, being able to catch are more important than being able to run.
Another guy I would like to see more of these next 2 games is Cyril Grayson. It seems like Tom Brady has trust in him. He made a few catches, big catches. He did the end around. Like, I think that dude can be a weapon. Like, let's scheme some stuff up, for him. Wide receiver screens, couple more end rounds, stuff like that. And, he hasn't played much this year, but both the times he played, he had a huge catch, I think, versus the Saints, touchdown versus them earlier in the year. And it seems to me like he's taken Scotty Miller's position. To me, he offers the same thing Scotty Miller offers as far as like a deep threat, but Arians has mentioned
let's talk about that.
His blocking. So
what happened to Scotty? Cody?
I don't know.
What happened?
No idea.
Like he was a vital key. He made some key big plays for us last year. Yeah, and it wasn't just the deep shots; it was 3rd downs.
Yeah,
beating a linebacker across the middle on a drag route, shit like that. I'm not even seeing him getting targeted more than twice a game, and I'm wondering, did he buy the hype? Did he put in the work this offseason? And I'm beginning to think not.
He had the turf toe issue. Maybe he's just not 100% yet. Like I don't know, but I expected a decent game from him and Tyler Johnson. I don't think either of them had a catch last game. So that's if
Yeah,
everybody's back, that's fine. But if that's the guys you got out there, you need to you need some production from them. And yeah, we haven't gotten it. Tyler Johnson's been probably the most disappointing player on our team to me this year. He just hasn't. It's like he hadn't taken the next step. He's not an athlete. He's got good hands, but
He's got great hands.
Yeah, he doesn't separate. He's not fast. He's not getting open. So I don't know. Maybe being with AB, Godwin, he'll you got to develop route running. To me, route running is it's so important. People just think, oh well, they run the play, but there's just so much more to it than that. People like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, like you watch them, and it is like it's art. Like they get open fast, they make it look easy. It's just Antonio Brown too. That's another one I should have mentioned. He's one of
his footwork is so impressive. His footwork is so fucking impressive, dude.
Yeah.
And shout out to a lot of the guys that we talk to, that we interact with on Bucs Media Twitter, that didn't used to be Bucs Media guys, that are diminishing the value of Antonio Brown, and that needs to be spoken on this podcast. We would not tolerate any AB slander from any of y'all. Y'all need to cut that shit out. Just cut your losses and change the topic. Don't talk about that no more.
Yeah, for real. I mean, and Stunna, if you're with us, we'll ask you about that in a minute. But we did have a Twitter question as well, as my pops is an avid watcher. Shout out to you. He was wondering the same thing. What happened to Scotty Miller exactly? As Cody alluded to, perhaps injury a little bit. I did hear Scotty Miller on Bucs All Access on WDAE on Monday, and he did say he feels fine, but the toe will always be hindering him this year. He said in the off season he's really going to get it healthy and get it feeling right. So that's one of those things, where he may have been cleared to play and he loves playing, and he knows that if he doesn't try and play with all the talent on this team, it could really hurt his roster spot perhaps. So maybe he's trying to power through it. Obviously, we do have a lot of depth there, but I agree Tyler Johnson has been disappointing in my opinion as well. He has great hands. Maybe he could grow. One thing with Tyler Johnson is when he was a rookie, obviously the COVID training camp and whatnot that, hindered him. He didn't have training camp. He didn't have rookie camp, all those things as a rookie. So he was not up to speed to begin with. This offseason, you hope that change. Right now, we haven't seen that change. Perhaps we see it eventually. We'll see what happens with that. But Stunna, you got any answers on what happened to Scotty Miller? If you're with us now, I can't see you, but maybe you're with us.
Yeah, I'm with you. Bruce Arians basically said it. He says when you get your opportunity, you got to make plays, and if not, you won't get another chance. And Scotty Miller had a drop in each of the last 2 games. Bruce Arians also mentioned that he's looking for people to block in the slot position. And, Scotty Miller, I don't even think he's 170 pounds. So, we got these other guys that can fulfill that role. And I'm sure he got some plays on his play sheet to say Scotty Miller on it. Other than that, Scotty Miller basically what we had with Deshaun Jackson. He really wasn't no blocker. Deshaun probably a better runner as far as jet sweep. But, Scotty Miller, man, he's just a specialist at this point. And, we got a lot of talent at wide receiver. So that is a position that even though we lost a great one, we'll be able to make up for it with all the talent we have there. And
I'd like to see Scotty running some punts. Put him on teams.
Yeah.
When I was at the game against the Colts,
you can only dress so many people.
Yeah, that is true. You could only dress so many people, but we'll see. Shout out to Jesus Montavo, who is joining us on Facebook. He says, "Good job, fellas. Thanks, Jesus, for joining us this evening. We do appreciate that." So we are being joined by several outlets on Facebook, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, pretty much Scotty Miller, between not being able to block, maybe being a little hurt, and just the pure depth of this team, I think that puts him in a little bit of a bad spot on the depth chart at this time. But as Bucko was alluding to, we're not going to handle any Antonio Brown slander in this building, okay? We understand he did the crime. He did the time. He didn't get paid. He was suspended 3 games. And quite frankly, him and Mike Edwards not being here did hurt us a little bit, but things happen. You got to learn to live and forget. And there's benefit in the games he has played this year, and in the Super Bowl last year, he scored a touchdown. This year, every game he played in besides one, he has gone off. And people say, "Oh, he didn't go off against
every
New
game
England."
he's played, they were undefeated.
Exactly. We have not lost a game in which he's played, which is incredible within itself. And then the only game he didn't do great in was Atlanta, our victory in which he played against Atlanta. New England, he was our leading receiver with 60-something yards. The game that I sat next to Cody at Miami, he went in. Dallas, he went in. Philadelphia, he went in. Last week, he went in. The man just comes to work, shows up, does his damn job when he's able to. And that's fine. What he does off the field, the media, what they write about him, that's one thing. But to sit here and realize what some people said about him just because they perceived him differently, just because they felt indifferent about his personal choices, which we all make mistakes. Let's not sit back and act like we don't. But some people are saying he lost a step. Some people are saying he doesn't step up in big games. Some people are saying he's not that good of a receiver. The Bucs would be fine cutting him. It's all foolish to me, fellas. I'll leave the floor to you guys. But to me, it's disgusting slander that's not needed for us.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to touch on something regarding our Bucs media members, specifically Tampa Bay Times. I'm going to call you out directly. Our organization is not one of illustrious history. Right? We've had more losing seasons than winning. I think we've only had 11 playoff appearances ever. Right? We're not an organization of storied, enamored stuff. Right? So when our media decides to just take a shot and keep taking a shot at a guy that we brought in here as a free agent, what does that do in the market for free agents? Oh, this is how you talk about your own players. These are the articles you publish saying Antonio Brown has learned nothing. He's a diva. He's never going to be good, right? Why are you disparaging our players in our city when no one fucking reads your publication but people in our city? But teams, players that want to come here to this city down the road be like, oh, Antonio Brown turned in a fake vax card. Look at how y'all treat him. Why am I going to come there for that scrutiny, right? Because right now, everybody's about their brand. Everybody's about NFT. Everybody's about marketing. And when you have all these disparaging articles about a player put out by your own team's media, it's counterproductive to that regard. So I think they're doing the team a big disservice, regardless of who the individual is. And I'm about tired of the virtue signaling and the grandstanding of people that want to be Bucs media making excuses for these people. Stop slandering our players. Report the news. Leave it at that. Don't keep digging and don't keep. They're the reasons our players got suspended. No other team had a player get suspended for a fake vax card. You gonna tell me our 3 people are the only people in the entire NFL to turn in a fake one? I call bullshit. But because our media is doing what they're doing, we had to pay a price for it. So stop doing that shit. Report the team, and that's it. And I'm off my box.
Yeah, Cody, what say you?
I agree with Bucko. I saw, I understand people were mad, frustrated. I think a lot of people just didn't like him before he ever came here, which, the outfield, there's, his history is his history. I'm not going to defend or argue. There's no point talking about that. Everybody, knows, but I was seeing stuff like they were so mad they're talking about his on the field. Like on the field, there is no question what AB brings his football team. We are night and day better football team with Antonio Brown on it. We've been, like Bucko was saying, we've been terrible for forever. I've been a fan for over 20 years. We've been bad a lot more than we've been good. I want to win. I want to win football games. To me, what he did is not that bad. I'm happy he's on the team. I hope he's back next year. Honestly, he's been better off the field than I thought he would be when he came here. There's really, other than, this thing, there really hasn't been, anything. And as far as Tampa Bay Times and all, they post all that dumb shit and everybody's quote tweeting them and everybody's dragging them, but they're still getting what they want out of it. They're still getting interaction. So my advice to any fans, if you're following them, unfollow them. If you're subscribed, unsubscribe. Don't don't give that stupid shit. And I get it because it pissed me off too, but just ignore it. The more we tweet it, talk about it, they're just going to keep doing it. It's
all
what it
clickbait.
is.
They're doing the same thing, trying to run the Rays out of town and having him become a split squad. They're doing the same nasty thing. They don't care. They just do it for clicks. They do it because they think it's cute. But in reality, no one wants to read that shit on AB or the Rays. So they should knock it off before. Well, quite frankly, they already lost half their damn viewers, anyways. That's why they're going
Absolutely.
under. But
And tell them, I'm going to take it further. I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying. With the treatment of the Rays, with the treatment of the Lightning, even the way that they came out having reports of us trying to do cap dodging with the Kucherov thing a couple years ago. Yeah. Our own media does all of our teams such a disservice. This is why people in Toronto, New York, Boston, Chicago, this is why none of them take Tampa as a sports market seriously, even though the amount of competitive championships and competitive seasons for the Rays, the Bolts, what the Bucs just did, right? The relevancy talent-wise is there. But the way the media puts out there, and for the simpletons that don't know about Tampa to read, that's the idea. That's the picture you're painting. And I'm fucking sick of it. It's like a mutiny. I don't understand.
I couldn't agree more. Stunna, what say you on this entire thing? I mean, I agree with Bucko in that aspect very much so as well, that, the more they weigh in on the damn thing, the less appealing Tampa is to free agents. Who's going to want to be under the spotlight that critical? I'm not saying, everyone is as much as Antonio Brown, but if you're a hell of an athlete who's thinking about coming here, who's made a couple mistakes, I'm not even talking about as many as AB, but nonetheless, you're going to be under the dang spotlight, and that might just be unwanted. Stunna, what say you on the terrible treatment of Antonio Brown and the rest of Tampa sports by the media?
It's really sad, and these so-called journalists just show you that they really don't care about the sports they cover. They just care about getting their name out there and getting clickbait and getting virtue points. It's pretty disgusting. It's like Steve Dumek back in the day used to call the people goobers, because it's like Bucko said, nobody takes the sports market serious. There's a free agent who's going to want to be part of that. And it ain't just the media. Remember, Tom Brady got to town, and our mayor went to snitching on him for being at the park and all kind of silly stuff. So the media should have never had this power over the players to begin with. Okay, it's a violation of their personal health records. And it should have been when Dak went up on stage and said that's HIPAA, it should have been squashed right there. But you continue to let them do it. You don't call them out in their face. Now they think they got over on you. They're using it to attack the man's character. AB's been better for us than Deshaun Jackson was, or even Alvin Harper. So, I'm glad he's here. He's always been respected in the league. He's a great player, all-time great player. And I'm with Cody. I hope he resigns. And I'm with Bucko. AB slant won't be tolerated. He brought the ring and the championship to the city, so he deserves respect.
He'll forever be on in Tampa history. So haters gonna hate, but he'll forever be a winner in the city of Tampa and a big part of changing the culture here for the better in terms of football in the city of Tampa and sports in general. So from AB to BA. Fellas, we have another question from Pops from Twitter. Thanks for joining us tonight, Pops. We appreciate it. He asks, will the loss of BA affect the Bucs this week? Now, I've seen some wild scenario out there where with the new NFL protocol, technically, if BA tests negative, he could, in theory, coach this week, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, Harold Goodwin's lined up to coach. He's a very experienced coach. He's run game coordinator, assistant head coach. So I feel really good with or without BA, and I'm confident either way. I'm not so sure that the loss of him nearly affects us this week as much as one may think. Bucko, you have something to add?
No, I just wanted to piggyback on what you were saying. I mean, guys like Goodwin, guys like Bowles, guys like the guys we have on the staff have a player experience. And one of them right? I think like 20 years, right? I've been in the league 18 years. And I'm looking at the NBA, I'm looking at
Bucko, you're having some technical
Harden plays. He's
difficulties.
not. Oh,
Now
dude,
that
I was on mute.
No, you're good now. You're good
Can
now.
you hear me?
You were yeah, your mic was just a little off, but go ahead and repeat what you were trying to
Oh,
say.
my bad. I was saying the guys we have on the staff have years and years of coaching experience. Goodwin himself has been a coach for over 20 years. And the last couple of years of watching BA on the sideline, it's just him with that big switchboard on his chest and yelling at referees. He's not really coaching anybody. He lets his coaches coach. So I don't think in our situation, losing the head coach affects us like it did New Orleans, or it actually didn't, like it should have affected New Orleans, like it affected Cleveland. I think in our situation, it's unique that BA doesn't do as much.
Yeah, BA is in one of those positions where he said himself he enjoys and letting people do what they want to do. His coaches coach and his players play. He's very adamant about and open about letting the guys do what they do best, and it doesn't involve his say much. Cody, what say you? You think the loss of BA affects us as much as people think?
No, not at all. He didn't. If he called offense or defense, maybe. But even then, like Bucco said, we got a deep coaching staff. But I mean, like Bucco said, other than yelling at refs and maybe calling timeouts, which, that's my biggest complaint about BA's the last couple of years is clock management. He said had some suspect clock management, but the players love BA. They want to play for him. He doesn't call the plays. I think if anything, the players will be fired up to go get a win without him. And that's if he doesn't coach. There's a good chance he can still coach. So I'm not even sure he's not going to coach.
Exactly right. You said it. I mean, with this new rules and protocols, he could easily, well, not easily, but there is a good path to him coaching this Sunday. And even if he's not there, he'll have some sort of saying, like you said, maybe it'll fire up the guys really, really well because they all love playing for BA. And he's been a notorious players coach over the years. So Donnie Pepin says we will be fine without BA. COVID is a bitch. Yes, sir, Donnie. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. It is a bitch, brother. We got to continue to maneuver around this.
Serious question, Thomas.
Yep.
When are we going to just start accepting the fact COVID ain't going anywhere? It's
going.
the new flu.
I
never
agree.
got rid of the flu. Well, the flu still kills 100,000 people every year. This is the new flu. We got to get back to life. Stop fucking with my football. I have lost thousands of dollars in fantasy money.
The rule's a blessing from 10 to 5 days. That's a step towards normalcy in my eyes. And I think that's a good thing because 10 days is ridiculous for asymptomatics. They shouldn't even be tested. It's crazy. I agree. We got to get back to normal. Stunna, what says you on both the Bruce Arians and COVID situation?
I mean, can you imagine if COVID happened in '94 and we never got the Jordan flu game because it would have been the Jordan COVID absence? Can you imagine that?
That would have been brutal.
So with BA, there's been other interim coaches like Dallas with Dan Quinn won the game. Of course, we know the Saints had interim coach; they won. I think the Jets had interim coach last weekend; they won. And training camp was a long time ago. So really, all the coach does from week to week is to put in the game plan, and your preparation is going to carry you in a game no matter what. So coaches said Harold Goodwin is qualified to be a head coach, and this is his chance to audition to do such. And so I don't really see it as a bad situation. Plus, I mean, we get to we don't need to send people up to New York if they're not healthy. You stay home, rest up, and get healthy. We got another home game coming up at the end of the year. And then as far as the COVID situation, when people quit listening to the CDC, who only gives recommendations and start making their own health decisions, is when it will end. It's been a lot more adverse for high school teams. Because in the high school situation, if you have one person in your class with COVID, they would send the whole class home for 10 days. And so you would lose a player right in the middle of the season for like 10 days. And those players are a lot harder to find in high school than they are in the NFL. We got waiver
Yeah,
wires.
I lost
So
60% of my vacation time at work this year because of that exact thing. Having to take off when my kids were in close contact. So I couldn't go see Bucs games. I couldn't meet up with you guys because of that exact thing.
Correct. So it was the CDC can only give recommendations. Last time I was in Georgia, they were doing it right. I didn't see too many people wearing masks. You come and go as you want. It was a free state. Florida is for the most part, but it's a freedom of choice. A lot of people will still wear a mask, but it's their decision if they want to or not, which is what it should be. It should be your right to choose. But it's a sad situation. It's one we're going to have to get through as a people in a nation. And it does affect sports in a negative way. But our Buccaneers have been resilient. We won a championship during this time with this. Of course, this year the championship's going to be a lot harder, because we haven't had our team put together. We've had an incomplete puzzle the whole year. And we're playing teams in the playoffs that are a lot better in the NFC. So it's going to be interesting, but it's a great time to be a Bucs fan, and I like our chances.
And real quick, Tones, before you jump in, I hate to hijack it from the host with the most, but we're 31 and a half minutes into this thing, and I have not said rest in peace and God bless one of my childhood heroes, a big proponent of my youth, watching football, learning football, and video gaming. John Madden is an iconic legend, a true pillar of the game. I just want to say rest in peace and God bless John Madden. And I want to leave it there.
I couldn't agree more. Rest in peace to a game that, whether you're older or younger, he changed the game for you if you haven't even realized it, because you either watched him coach if you're that old, or he was a broadcaster he hit the four pillars of broadcasting: ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, and even if you haven't been around long enough to hear him broadcast or see him coach, odds are you've been buying his video game. And he's the one that really got that jump started. So rest in peace to a legend. Hopefully the NFL can incorporate him to truly, give him the honor he deserves by either naming an award after him or doing something, making a trophy after him, something along the lines of incorporating Madden so he is with the game forever, because at the end of the day, Madden ultimately is the NFL. Football is Madden. So, unfortunate passing of John Madden. He's been a hero to many of us, and he's going to be missed by many. Moving on, we do had just a quick scoreboard glance before we get to score predictions, as Cleve and me dropped his score prediction for the game this Sunday. Today we did have 3 bowl games. It's bowl season. We'll go over those quick. Pinstripe Bowl, Maryland topped Virginia Tech 54-10. Cheez-It Bowl underway in progress right now. Clemson is up 13-3 on Iowa State. Alamo Bowl kicks off at 9:15 Eastern. You got Oregon matching up against Oklahoma. So actually, we do have another question from Pops on Twitter. I don't feel like typing it in right now, but we do have another one before we get to score predictions and closing out and whatnot. Can Rojo carry the team like Lenny did last year, or like your buddy said, is it time to move on and try some Le'Veon Bell? So, Stunna, we'll start with you with this one. What do you think?
I assume I'm buddy.
Yeah, but we'll start with you since you're buddy.
No. Go ahead with Stunner. I'm just saying I assume your buddy is me.
Stunner, what say you?
No, you can't. He can't carry the load. He can definitely help us as a 2-down back, but it's going to be running back by committee with Rojo because of his receiving skills, and unless they, just improve overnight, which it's not going to happen in most cases. But he's got to work on his hands and his route running as a receiver. He's a great 2-down back though, and he's a great change-up back. But no, with Rojo, it's going to be running back by committee, and the bigger question is Giovanni Bernardi going to be healthy or not?
Cody?
No, definitely not. Having Rojo in there, we're limited. He limits what we can do. You can't trust him to pass protect. You can't trust him to catch the football. And even as a pure runner, I think he's mid. It's my opinion, but he's not like some great dominant runner either. He's okay. He's a backup caliber running back with almost no upside is how I view Rojo. And I'm not trying to be mean. This is just my opinion. Like, I really like Rojo as a person, but like Bucko said, we're a pass first team, and you got a dude that can't catch, he can't block. And it's not like he kind of can. Like,
he can't at all.
It's like catching, I think he catches around 50% of his patches, that's terrible. But his pass protection, like, people clamoring for him to get more snaps. I mean, what's it going to take? Him missing a block and getting Brady hurt? Is that when people are going to say, yeah, he's not good. Like, we could do worse as far as like backups go, but as far as like what Lenny can do everything. Lenny's, in my opinion, good at everything, not great at anything, but he's, serviceable in all three phases. So yeah, again, I'm not trying to be mean to Rojo. I'm just to answer the question. No, he definitely, we're going to miss Lenny if he's not back.
Yeah, Lenny actually improved his catching game overnight because we all at nauseum tones talked about Leonard's ineptitude catching the ball.
To be fair to Leonard, he always had hands though, because in Jacksonville he had him. They just went away for a little bit and he found him back. So Leonard,
right? But when he first started with us, they weren't good. They weren't good when they started with us.
Cal.
They weren't good, but he always had him.
He's second in the team in receptions right now. So he improved, and then his pass blocking, we didn't. You know what? I'm gonna tell you how good it was. We haven't talked about it. If as a blocker, as an offensive lineman, as a running back, pass blocking, the only time they notice it is when you're bad at it. So we never brought up Leonard because he's good enough at it. I don't care. What's the old line? Stunner, you're a coach. I'm sure you use it. Tell him a story. Spit in his ear. I don't care. Just keep him off my ass for 3 seconds, right? That's all I need. And Leonard can at least do that. But we watched Le'Veon Bell play championship caliber football, all three as a blocker, runner, and receiver. If he can just channel just 70% of what Lev Bell was just 3 years ago, that's an asset that I can't get past being beneficial to this team. Because if he still has any juice left, he is a legit threat. And with him and Leonard, we're straight. But Rojo, I can't trust you, brother. God bless you in Jacksonville, wherever the hell you go next year. But I'm good.
Yeah, and I mean the thing with Rojo is when he runs, he is a hell of a pure runner. You don't get over 5 yards a carry last season if you're an average running back running the football, right? So he had a 98-yard run, and we'd all be lying if we said that he's not a good pure runner. So
he's better Peyton Barber for sure.
What's
and
up,
you see
son?
Peyton Barber. You see Peyton Barber score for the Raiders. So Rojo definitely better than Peyton Barber. His plus is he's explosive. He fired most explosive.
If you gave Peyton Barber Rojo's speed, he'd be better.
Well, they both actually Peyton Barber both had the same issue with fumbling, and I would say Rojo has slightly better ball security than Peyton Barber too. So,
Rojo's just in the wrong era. If he had been a running back 30 years ago, he's good. But in this day and age, he can't be
Willie
just
Parker.
running.
Willie Parker for the Pittsburgh. That's who he reminds me of.
He'll ultimately be fine and find a spot somewhere. I mean, the man had 978 rushing yards in 13 games started last season. So in a full season,
there's no telling that he won't re-sign with Tampa. You don't know what his market's going to be.
I fucking hope he don't.
Yeah, me too. I think even if Tampa offered him a contract, which I don't think we will, it's pretty clear what they think of him. Why would he want to re-sign here to get 5-6? I don't think he's going to be featured back anywhere just because he's so limited. But I think he's more of like an even workload on another team. So I think
if you're going to be a backup, why leave your hometown?
Well, because we don't want him.
Come on, man.
I'll take him.
I'm dead. I don't mean to be that callous, man. I don't mean to be that callous, but our window is small. I'm not wasting cap money and roster space on somebody that's not uber beneficial, bro. Our window is very, very small and it's closing. I don't want to go back to the next 14 years because
And
it's coming
he
before we
helped
know
us
it.
win a
I
ring
don't
last
either.
year.
I don't want to go back to where we didn't
You're
have good depth at
contradicting
running back.
yourself there, Bucko, because he helped us win a ring last year, and he was a big part of that. So that's a contradiction to your statement because you're saying you don't want to go back to the last 14 years, which in reality, he's a big part of why we won last year. So,
Is
We
he?
haven't had a belt. We haven't had dominant
I'm gonna
running
give you that. I'm gonna give you
since
that.
Doug Martin's season.
Doug Martin for 2 years was the best running back Tampa ever had, but just those 2 years.
he was awesome, man. That Thursday night game against
Well, I'd say
Minnesota.
Wilder was the best, but yeah, he was definitely.
Yeah, as far as a career, yeah, no, Doug Martin had them 2 years where he ran for over 1,300 yards. The only other guy that was close to him was, as far as production, was Cadillac. And then you got to go back to Wilder. I mean, we have not been blessed at the skill position. I mean, Jimmy Giles led our whole team in receiving and touchdowns and all that stuff. Mark Carrier still had records. I mean, we have not been blessed at that position. So
That's
I
why
think
don't
they're trying
forget
to
about,
sign Lenny. I think they offered Lenny like a 2-3 year deal. Brady loves him. Arians love him. And especially we offered Lenny a contract. We're not going to sign 2 running backs. You're not signing Lenny and Rojo to a contract. So I think Lenny's back. Rojo's gone. And Rojo's easily replaceable. He's not a terrible runner by any means. He is running behind the best O-line in football for the last 2 years. And that definitely helps. I mean, that'll help any running back, but 6-8 touches a game, like that's easily replaceable. There's no sense in signing him. Maybe if Lenny doesn't sign and you just want a vet that knows the playbook, then maybe, but I would imagine Lenny resigns for 3 years is my prediction.
it's kind of funny though too, because in this offseason, Lenny F was the guy that everyone didn't want to bring back, right? Lenny F was the guy that everyone said don't come back, and then we signed him back, and now everyone wants Lenny F to sign.
who said that? It wasn't this guy.
No, a lot of people probably.
It wasn't this guy. This guy changed his name to everything Lenny.
I know not you. I know not you, but a lot of Bucs fans would be lying if they said Lenny F was one of the guys that to give a big to bring back in some capacity, and he was out the door. But in reality, we're glad we got him back, and with the type of year he's having, it was terrible to see him go down because to me he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. If I had to name one of our biggest Pro Bowl snubs, I think it was him. The year he was having, I mean, he was catching passes at an elite rate out of the backfield. He was blocking well. He was running his ass off. Every phase of his game was maybe the best we've ever seen it to this point. I'd want him back next year. That's for dang sure. But I'm one of those guys who's a little unrealistic. I always want to re-sign everybody. So, not everybody.
And we just did that too. So you're not totally unrealistic because we literally just fucking did it.
We did do it, but every year is going to get a little harder to do it, I feel like. We got some heavy hitters this year. I mean, we're going to have some fun this offseason or some sad talks this offseason because there's going to be so many conversations that need to be had about guys leaving or potentially leaving. So,
but how beautiful is it, though, Tones? We're almost to the new year. We're not talking about the offseason or draft or roster construction. We're talking about playoff seeding and possible Super Bowls. I love it. I'm trying to enjoy every minute we have of this that we're in. And I hope the rest of you Bucs fans do the same.
Second year straight of this march to the Super Bowl. So not a feeling we're familiar with for a while, but a feeling I could get familiar with and I'm very happy about. And I hope Tom Brady has changed this franchise for the better and forever. So, fellas, we got 2 things left. We're going to do score predictions and then our walk-off / one big thing. So, Cleve and me predicts Bucs 28, Jets 10. Bucko, we'll start with you. Score prediction for Sunday and why you think it ends like that.
I think we're missing a lot of players. I think we got a heavy field goal game. I see the Bucs winning the game 19-6, dominating fashion, but not impressive by any means. 19-6 Tampa Bay, 4 field goals from Ryan Suckup. And
that just That just yells Brady at the Meadowlands. He always had his way with the Jets, but it was always a tough game, a lower score. Not always, but Jets came to play against Brady, so that'll I could see that score happening. Cody, what say you? We got 28-10, 19-6, two lower scoring affairs. Do you think that's the story in this one, or are you going a different direction?
I haven't looked at the weather there yet. If the weather's decent, like not raining, snowing too bad, I'm thinking like 27-17. We're missing some guys on defense, and I think like last week we'll be pulling people out in the fourth quarter. The Jets, they're not a good football team. I'm not about to say they're a good football team, but they're getting better. Like again, this should be an easy win, even up there, but I think they'll score on us a little. We're missing some corners, so yeah, 27-17, 27-13, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
And like you said, they have been getting better at times this year. Like they have beaten the Titans at home. They have beaten the Bengals at home. So I'm not saying the Jets are a good football team either, but there have been instances that they've came to play at home. So the Bucs can't just go to New York and do what they did when they went to Washington. If they do that, that's going to bode recipe for perhaps disaster. So I think 27-17 is realistic, though, because we are without, you never know anymore, but we might be without SMB and Dean and handful of so much guys on the defense. Obviously, Levante's still down. No word yet on Nunez Roaches. He could come back if he's feeling fine, but we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of guys could be down. Stunna, what say you? We got 27-17, 28-10, 19-6, all Bucs victories. Are you following suit, or you think it's going to be a closer scoring game?
No, I got the Bucs 35-15.
Wow, you got us getting to 35, huh?
Yeah, I don't really the Jets offense struggled with the Jacksonville last weekend. So I don't really see, I see our defense getting better this time of year. So I see a lot of opportunity for some short fields and some, short fields, quick turnarounds, defensive setting up points. So that's why I predict lopsided score.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets are the Jets. They'll clamor their way. I'm gonna go with 30-13, 30-16 type game. I think the Jets hang around for a little bit, then the Bucs ultimately march their way to 30 in a double-digit victory. I do think it is a close game for at least until halftime. I think the Jets, they shorten the game. They have a decent backfield between Tevin Coleman, Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, so they could do some things there. So we'll see what happens, but I'm expecting a double-digit win. Hopefully that comes true, and we do what we did last year where we don't lose again in these last couple weeks, and it gains us momentum into the playoffs where we get healthy. Pops once again chimes in, says Godwin got screwed on the Pro Bowl. He sure dang did. He got injured.
Well, he couldn't play anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he couldn't. I mean, he wouldn't play anyways. All these big guys are opting out, and with COVID, who knows if the NFL even quote unquote ends up having one. So we'll see with that. But
Pro Bowl popularity contest.
Yeah, Pro Bowl. It is in every sport.
If we get snubbed on All Pros again this year, I'm calling whoever's in charge of the Associated Press and demanding all new members. We need to stop being denied all. Levante Davis is one of the best linebackers to ever play this game of football, and is never going to get a fucking All Pro. And I'm tired of it.
I agree, man. A lot of the people who do a lot of the voting in some sports aspects for whether it's Hall of Fame, whether it's all pros, it's a little skeptical and sketchy to say the least. And it's obvious and blatant at certain times. So, it'll be interesting to see the Bucs all pros. And if we do get our deserving all pros, I mean, Pro Bowl's a joke. We said it last year. That'll be my one big thing as I walk off out of here. We did have 5 Pro Bowlers, and sure, It was an improvement from last year, but no one get too wrapped up in terms of Pro Bowls and whatnot. We know we had one last year, JPP. In a year we won the Super Bowl, we only had one. We had 5 this year. We had a lot of people that deserve to make the Pro Bowls. My walk-off and one big thing is don't overthink about Pro Bowls. It's the same in every sport. A bunch of baloney, a bunch of people, fans voting, popularity contest. And I look forward to this Sunday, man. I do look forward. We don't play the Jets often, so it'll be an interesting, cool little matchup. Brady back to New York. Stunna, what say you on your walk-off? And one big thing is the Buccateers logs off.
My walk off is go Bucks. You know, we won a division. Now we're going for the NFC Championship. We need to keep stacking these wins, and let's be road warriors. Let's go ahead and bring our pirate ships up the Atlantic coast and beat these guys up and show them that this is Bucs Nation.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go on the road and get a W. Bucko, what say you for your walk-off and one big thing, brother?
My walk-off is a two-parter. First part, last time we went to the Meadowlands, we lost to Geno Smith. Okay, so let's not underestimate anybody. Let's go out here and handle our business, beat the teams we're supposed to beat, because our destiny is not in our own hands as far as seeding at this juncture, so we got to make sure we win out. Second part is Bucs Twitter, Bucs media, Bucs people trying to be media. Shut the fuck up. Enjoy the ride. Stop starting shit. Stop being holier than thou. If you, for 1 second, say anything negative about Antonio Brown, henceforth, I'm on your ass, and I'm tagging Stunner in every one of them so he can troll you. So knock it off. Let's go Bucs, baby.
Couldn't agree more. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Listen to the interviews too.
Yeah. And we got our own Twitter security and Stunna patrol in these streets, so you guys better watch out. Cody, what's your one big thing and walk off? That's going to be a hard one to top, my friend. What do you got?
I just, and Bucko said it earlier, we said it a lot. This game kind of matters, not real important, but just enjoy this team. It's been so long since we've been good. Just enjoy this entire ride. I think we win. And yeah, I'm looking forward. I want to see Grayson some more, like Bucko said. Maybe we'll see some more Le'Veon Bell carries, and even I'd like to see Keyshawn Vaughn a little more. I think, he's not. We all know what he is, but I'd like to see him more because you never know. You never know what's going to happen with Lenny. I think now's the perfect time. Grayson, Bell, and Vaughn, like get them some touches. Like this is where you get them involved, get them some touches, work them in, just because you never know. They might have to play a big role in the playoffs. So let's get them some time now, and go Bucs.
Yeah, and we got Perriman coming back, it looks like, too. So, it looks like things are headed in a bigger and brighter direction. Cyril Grayson, I've poked fun at him before for his hands. He's proven me wrong this year. He's having a nifty little year when he has been on the field. So I think that's a good one as well. Go Bucs. Let's get our pieces moving. Let's get Vaughn involved. Let's get Grayson involved. Let's get the young cats going. Let's see what these guys could do. You never know who's going to be back, who's not in playoffs, so you might as well get these guys going in these last 2 games against the Jets and Carolina before it's too late. So all good things, gentlemen, all good things. On behalf of Bucko, Stunna, and Cody G, it's been another episode of the Buccateers. I'm Tampa Tones. We were without A-Cats tonight. We hope our brother Cats is doing well. So you can catch the instant replay on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcast, Deezer, Stitcher, and so much more, Radio Public, all that good stuff. The Buccateers are out of the building until next time. Hopefully it's a victory episode after the Jets. Until then, go Bucs, fellas.
Let's fucking go.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.